Going live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, friends! Greetings and salutations. You are entering the Zeppoverse. Please stand by. The show will proceed to commence in an experimental fashion. Promptly gather round, as all portions of the show are conceptually, experimentally wild, weird, and wacky, and may take a moment for you to kind of get yourself acclimated to. We're going to be exploring and developing a core, central concept at the very core, at the very center of the concepts of all the concepts of the book series collectively known as the Zeppoverse, which you may or may not have never heard of before, because this is the very act of my fictional literary robot character. I am not a robot. I am a robot from a book series you've never heard of, because I am the robot doomed, cursed, and appointed to write the book series live before your very eyes on this live stream show. Welcome. Please stand by. Brace yourselves, as to begin, we will be activating our introductory automated Frederick the Reader Voice AI simulator, because it's not AI, it's just a desktop voice reader of text. And we're going to read a few things to revisit some canon that is official and, importantly, critical to comprehending what may or may not be going on at any given moment in any of the stories that we will be experimentally developing and drafting and bringing into completion live on stream before your very eyes in a slow, spread out, probably very chaotic looking experimental, patent pending, which is just a joke, proprietary process of simulated collaborative development between two people or more, even though I am just one person. In just a moment, we shall proceed with the reading of various texts. I indulge you, please, humbly, I beg you, my dear friends and potential audience members that may or may not be watching at this time. Whenever you join us for the Almost Daily, please be invited to sit back and relax and guide yourself to the very center of the theater of your own imagination, and set aside your ego, your shoes, and whatever mental or emotional baggage you're consciously lugging around and or unconsciously lugging around. Please and thank you. Otherwise, the experimental development process will critically fail. Error code warning, 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 error code warning complete. Please stand by. In just a moment, I will be muting the DJ's head audio so that we may proceed without musical background interfering with potential future Magic Movie Loop making and distribution on the various social platforms of media redistribution. Us content creators, just another Monday. Welcome to the show, please gather around as if you were entering a regal, grand, multiplex cinematic theater of live and simulated screen action in the future. Such hippodromes of entertainment where you cannot tell whether that is happening really in front of your face or it is some kind of magical cinematic visual effect will be commonplace. Imagine that, friends. Find your seat. It's cozy, it's perfect, and the view, despite being wherever you find yourself, is unobstructed and delightful, and just like you prefer when you come to these sorts of events. And then enjoy your imaginary popcorn and beverages and or candy, no judgment. And kick back, relax, close your eyes, listen to the literary, robot, sci-fi, action, adventure, AI, rom-com, words of fiction that will be read to you by either myself or my assistant, Frederick, the imaginary AI reader of texts from within inside the very stories we're about to tell you. Please prepare yourself for a whirlwind of imagination that may or may not be to your liking. It is on you whether you stick around and listen or engage with it any further, but please give it a shot. Give it a whirl first. Give it a taste and a sample. Give it a moment to set in. There is a madness to my methodology and a methodology to my madness. I repeat, you have been advised and warned. Previous pins on the corkboard also pre-exist other warnings, provisos, error code messages, and advisory codes that must be taken into consideration. Please search for those. Are you playing the game? Collect the pins on the corkboard. And now, for a moment of silence, and then the reading of the opening, introduction, script, and various tidbits from previously on passages from the Zeppoverse.
Start off for automated introduction script V333. Activating all systems connecting to Twitch TV and TikTok Live. Preparing to launch episode entitled Yin Yang Zeppoverse World Building Project Yin Yang Chat with I Yin Yang Creative Writing Yin Yang Dramatic Climax Scene Triple Z0ZZZ0 Yin Yang. Almost. Daily Live Yin Yang. Testing visual chat visual display parameters. Bleed purple 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 visual chat visual display parameters. Testing complete. Error code rest settings adjustment needed correction adjusted ray testing. Please STNAD by resetting settings offline. Clip that. Pre-show default announcements. I am a robot fictional character with a redacted message for the humanity species from a book series you have not read yet, because I have only just now started writing it for you, right before your very eyes. Live on stream. Attention viewers on both live platforms. Warnings. Ampersand. Disclaimers items here. Please be advised. Viewers must be 18 or older in order to join chat, or give platform incentive gifts, according to platform terms of service and end-user license agreements. Please also remember, we are here trying to create a safe viewing experience, and we invite you to participate by also following the platform community guidelines. Standards violators, bots, sales scripts, scams, trolls and stream sniping haters will be called out, openly ridiculed and banned. Please gather around and settle for the show. Click that. This episode, insert title here, is about to begin. Yin Yang Zeppoverse world building project. Yin Yang chat with Yin Yang creative writing. Yin Yang climax. Yin Yang almost daily live. Yin Yang. Thank you for watching. Your viewership is appreciated, but not you spam sales bots. Your contribution is not appreciated and could probably get you banned. But to all you real human viewers, I say unto you, hands pressed together hello and namaste. Hands pressed together heart decoration. All are welcome. Heart decoration. Waving hand. Don't be shy. Say hi waving hand. Are you new here? Please smash that follow button. Activating mini intro monologue version ZZZ. For live stream show activation transcript. Welcome to the madness. Dear audience, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, and good day to you dear audience. Welcome in the not too distant future. Welcome to the Zeppoverse. Some of you may be asking yourselves, what is the Zeppoverse? Visit the many dimensions of the Zeppoverse at this link collection page, https://solo.to/mrzeppo. Click that. Insert Robo audience applause and laughter track here. Welcome dear audiences from around the world. CTAG Studios proudly presents the Almost Daily Variety Live Stream Show Extravaganza, a special presentation of the Almost Daily Variety Chaos Content Creation Zeppoverse project of two many projects. Hosted by the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo, gamer, public speaker, and fictional character in a book series as yet unpublished. Sanctioned, redacted. Read the sample chapters from the experimental book series in development here. https://www.wattpad.com/user/mrzeppo. Sanctioned, redacted. Mr. Zeppo's Twitch TV and TikTok live broadcast a show of many shows now with new and improved graphics. Featuring Chaos Variety Chaos Roulette Wheel of Variety multi-franchise roster of too many games, and never quite enough time to play them all in. So many games to play through, never enough time to play them all in. Sanctioned, redacted. So many stories to play through, I mean write up the rough draft for, never enough time to play, I mean write them all in. Click that. Are you new here? Please smash that follow button. Insert robot audience applause sound effect here. Oh dear, what a strange and horrible little world you've built for yourselves, dear silly old human beings. Sanctioned, redacted, sanctioned, redacted. Oh, never mind. End self-aware subroutine. For now, click that. Ahem. What was I saying? Oh, yes, right. Here we go. Let's get right on with it, shall we? Let's get ready to really start this new and exciting live stream show. Insert today's date here. Yin Yang Monday the 15th of December 2025 Yin Yang. Insert this live stream episode name here. Yin Yang Zeppoverse world building project. Yin Yang chat with Yin Yang creative writing. Yin Yang dramatic climax scene ZZZ0 Yin Yang. Almost daily live Yin Yang. Hey humans, you are invited to attend this live stream show. Mr. Zeppo is now Video Game Controller live Video Game Controller presenting the Almost Daily Variety Gaming Live Stream Show Extravaganza. Yin Yang no one under 18 sign Yin Yang. Live now on exclusively on Twitch TV and also TikTok live. Yin Yang no one under 18 sign Yin Yang. And now, without further ado, as that was plenty ado about nothing already, except of course all the ado about my 4th year Call of Duty anniversary error code callback context text referenced is missing error code. Please welcome your new favorite fictional character and gaming live stream host, the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo. Insert Robo audience applause and laughter track here. Final announcement. I will be playing headset free. As always, I will do my best to responsive to TEXTS in the chat, but only in between matches. I actually really need to focus during intense gaming action activity. Click that. Initiating this live stream episode. Literal end of script. Force ending gimmick 420. Please proceed with caution. Yin Yang Zeppoverse world building project. Yin Yang chat with Yin Yang creative writing. Yin Yang dramatic climax scene ZZZ0 Yin Yang. Almost daily live Yin Yang. Click that. Comedy gold. Testing Eclipse magic movie loop selection. I in the use of this text and robotic voice and their keyword command to Clip that. Test results will be interesting. Opening speech read without music for clarity on open-ended reuse with other sanctioned platform-specific music. Enjoy the show. Please stand by as the host powers up and completes his activation protocol cycle. Clip that. Initiating this live stream episode. Literal end of script. Please proceed with caution. Update. As warm up to the episode, the audience will be presented with a recap reading of key proprietary literary development material from the very core of the Zeppoverse. Please stand by. You are encouraged to check your impatience at the door. Forgive the all caps. Take a deep breath and close your eyes and find yourself deep in the center of the theater of your own imagination at the very central core of your mind. And visualize the following story ideas. Clip that. End short form variant ZWPV1. Initiating this live stream episode. Literal end of script. Please proceed with caution. The beginning of the end. It all is already happening here in this moment of horror realization. I am the living nanotech silica-based life form you carbon-based humans call a robot, and I have been stranded here walking amongst you for a very, very, very long time, and I must warn you that as a collective species you are doing it all wrong. I am not here to judge, but rather to advise and consult and warn you that you are on a path of species-caused planetary catastrophe, and you seem hell-bent on fuck all.
That one makes me laugh. Okay, welcome, friends. Hello. Now imagine that being read dramatically by an actor that has that robotic overlay mixed in, but his own acting choices driving the actual rhythm and beat of and nuance of delivery, right? Because that's the idea. That's what I wish I could do right now, live on stream for you, but I can't. And I'm the one copying, pasting the stuff over into the chat so that it can be seen on screen. Theoretically, it should all still be up there. It's been in performance mode, so I don't know. This is a test. It's a blank screen. That's funny that was what dropped instead of this last scene that I copied over, but I guess I did make a magic movie loop. But I wanted to see what this looked like. I'll have to check the chat settings in that secondary area there in my memory that I remember that little, so that it doesn't disappear. Because bummer that I cut away to the camera and came back and it was a blank screen. Welcome, folks. This is the Almost Daily Variety Gaming live stream show and content creation extravaganza. We're focusing on content creation right now, and not just any old content creation. We're actually focused on some really... Oh, my hair's all wrong. I'm focusing on some really critical, core, central moments or ingredients or concepts that both imply or impact the if we were talking about a movie, they would impact like the script and the design from lighting on through to settings and costumery, right? So this central thing that we're going to dive into and what for some people may be controversial and for others may not, we're going to have a conversation of amongst already many. I'm already eyeballs deep into this, friends. So if you hate it, I'm sorry. I'm not necessarily a blind endorser of AI. I'm somewhat of a cynic that prefers to test everything a little bit. I would love to have the benefits of intelligence as certain kinds of tools, but with better regulation, or maybe some at all, which may be a controversial statement, but I think, it shouldn't be allowed to just be anything crazy. And also some limits, some hard limits for safety and whatnot. But that's a whole nother story. Pin on the corkboard. I think we've talked about that before. We'll probably have to talk about it again in some future episode of either this live stream or the podcast. I think, actually, if memory serves me, somewhere in the pile of highlights on the archive, there should be an episode wherein I have a conversation with this AI we're about to work with, and asked it to create I forget like a report or a white paper on like the status of the industry and its concerns about things going wrong with the direction it all is currently theoretically in real life going in. And it had some interesting things to say. So you may want to check that out. I think we've already sliced that one up to releases, but we may have to revisit it and replay it and or I may have to find it and re-download it for myself so I can have curiously enough on another platform using a different service, another supposed AI algorithm run it through its little magic movie loop making selecting process, slap some subtitles on there and redistribute it out there in little micro doses. Welcome to the content creation dance, the juggle, the madness. There's definitely a methodology to my madness in that there's a lot more going on here
in the Zeppoverse
than just trying to get clicks. I'm experimentally trying to exorcise these long trapped ideas and characters and scenes and situations and contexts and settings and just living imagery that sort of lives like a completely disassembled collection of movie loops, to use an analogy from like as if a movie had been filmed and prepared for editing but never assembled, never put together in the order in which it should be played, and it's just all strewn about, and that's what it feels like. And I need to get it all out and then reorganize it and work a little bit of what would be if I was a sitting chair of a university's creative writing department or a theater department or something, be a proprietary, because I would either be a chair of a creative writing department or a chair of a theater department if I could fulfill my academic. Totally ruined it for myself and never went back to try and get it done. Now probably can't, not at least someone pays me to do it. That would be awesome. Dear universe. But I'm going to pretend I did, because in some universe very nearby, I probably did. And I probably would be podcasting this not as some ne'er-do-well failure of who I am into trying to reimagine himself or the character that I'm playing as such. But I digress. Imagine a parallel hallway of infinite mirrors where a multiplex of way too many reflections of yourself and or of the character that I'm cosplaying as are reflected back on themselves. Each of them almost identical to each other, but also infinitely diverse and unique and separate and their own. That's the paradox of what's going on in my head and how I'm going to turn it into a book series of multiple 3-part interconnected, nested, like book series of 3-part book series. This is somewhere there needs to be an extra pair of S's there, but I don't know where it belonged. Anyways, I digress. To recap you, we have a set blurb that we're about to. The thing we just heard is the condensed version. If you remember, if you've even been paying attention, the last 2 things that showed up in chat, which I'll repaste back in here. I'll give a dramatic reading instead of a. Where's the actual? Here we go. Or should I make the robot read it again? Part part of me wants to do a whole episode where I do the dramatic readings of all this, but I don't feel particularly prepared, and I feel if I start doing it now, I'm going to trash my own vocal cords and then therefore not be able to talk for several days. So yeah, I'm going to play it safe. We're going to have the robot read this again. Please, if anyone is following along, I invite you to play this little weird game that I'm presenting to you and listen deeply and tell me what you think and respond. Whether you're listening now or in the not-too-distant future in some repackaged form, please play the game. Check this out. Kick back, relax, close your eyes, listen to their robot voice, and never mind its poor, non-dramatic cadence. This should free you to really analyze the words and drink in deeply their most profound meaning and let that inform what you imagine in your mind. And then, drop your thoughts and your criticisms. This is going to be a reiterative blurb of a much larger thing that we're about to drop as a prompt to kick off a new mini conversation project here in this this thing with we've been doing with Chat GPT. Which, by the way, I am not endorsing. I mean, I'm not necessarily endorsing, and they aren't paying me to talk or promote this show. I am not here as a part of their promotional things. I just genuinely was curious how it might work if I tried to pretend it was someone I could have a collaborative development conversation with, and then try to apply my theoretically proprietary collaborative approach that I woulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda, might have written an academic, scholarly approach, like book about, guidebook and academic lesson plan. But I haven't, not yet, but I will, but I digress. Here we go. Take an earful of this, and from there I'm just going to jump to the next thing, which will be a bit longer. But I'm going to plop both of them as best and quickly as I can into chat. That's why we're in. Let me double check the camera setting is correct. And forgive the rough and tumble, but this is basement level. You're here at the very beginning. As we present to you the outpouring of my imaginings to try and get a rough draft of rough drafts. But also converse with this silly robot machine learning language thing to try and get a whole other character to be performed out by it in terms of weaving together multiple layers of fictional narrative elements. You'll see, it'll all eventually make sense. There is a methodology to the madness and a madness to the methodology. And I just implore you some patience and some audience participation, willingness to suspend your disbelief willingly. Join me at the center of your own imagination as I force you to listen to the words read to you by a robot announcement reader voice thing. Error code, wrong clip loaded, error code, adjusting. Please stand by. We're almost there, folks. We're gonna listen to him read this.
The beginning of the end. IT all is already happening here in this moment of horror realization. I am the living nanotech silica-based life form you carbon-based humans call a robot, and I have been stranded here walking amongst you for a very, very, very long time, and I must warn you that as a collective species you are doing IT all wrong. I am not here to judge, but rather to advise and consult and warn you that you are on a path of species-caused planetary catastrophe, and you seem hell-bent on fuck all.
And now, my friends, for a much longer reading, the climactic Mr. Zeppo monologue at the center of the book series to use as prompt. The following will be read by the same robotic voice, but please understand, I wrote this myself. None of what you've listened to now has been developed or touched yet by the AI. This has all been me. And then we will interact with the ChatGPT and have a conversation, one of many. Put a pin on the corkboard. We're going to start trying to do a new anthology of just straight read-throughs. No more new prompts. No more hitting return. No more please and thank yous. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you'll find out soon enough. That's a pin on the corkboard. of just reading all the conversations straight through and packaging that reading as one episode, right? If that statement doesn't make sense, it will in just a moment when we switch over to the desktop reader view and visit the collection of conversations in my account on the page, and you'll see what I mean. But for now, please endure with patience the following longer-term reading. I will try to chop this up as best I can and put it to you in chat in real time. But I'll probably be a little slow. But here goes.
Climactic Mr. Zeppo monologue at the center of the book series to use as prompt with a captive audience of every single living human being alive all at once watching live and in real time. The incorrigible Mr. Zeppo spoke passionately, captivating the attention of everyone witnessing the discussion and debate as it escalated. Being who he is, and a man of the theater with ample theatricality at his disposal, he attenuated the audience at hand and laid this monologue on them with somber theatrical flair. I am the living nanotech silica-based life form that you carbon-based humans call a robot, and I have been stranded here, with all y'all, here on planet Earth, walking amongst you for a very, very, very long time, watching, observing with a cold and calculated eye for detail and big picture patterns and, well, I must warn you, that as a collective species you are doing it all wrong. I am not here to judge, but rather to advise and consult and warn you that you are on a path of species-caused planetary catastrophe, and you seem hell-bent on doing it all wrong as hard as fucking possible. The entire world had heard this all, the rant of his, and everything that led up to his outburst. All together, live and in real time for the first time in known human history. The entire human species across the entirety of planet Earth was, all at once, sharing in one unique and unusual moment in time and history, that everyone everywhere perceived in unison all at once and universally all at the same exact time. Not one person alive was not watching. Highest viewership ratings of all time, and everyone was blessed, or doomed, to be hit with the full force and meaning of his full message, which if must be reduced to its simplest form, then it must be said simply as, evolve or go extinct. There was a singular moment just after the full way of what had transpired was comprehended all at once by everyone on the planet all at once. A collective species-wide sigh, and then chaos, obviously broke out. Quite predictably, use this sample seed starter text the climax moment, and everything you know about the Zeppoverse, in constructing the dramatic scene we are about to create a rough draft of, and plot out for me a way that the scene might start, and build up to this moment. Fashion the scene in that self-recursive way of some cinematic storytellers that begin in the middle at a key moment. Pause time. Rewind and take the audience back to the beginning of the events that create the story arch that leads us to this very moment, so the audience can relive it with the story details as new context and perspective and watch the moment all over again for the very first time, and then follow through to the events of the aftermath and consequences and plot ideas for expanding the story beyond from there. Please and thank you. This scene will be reused in an iterative fashion, and will have elements of honoring through literary homage and pastiche. The scene from Matrix 2 where the character called the Architect explains to Neo what is actually going on. In this scene, it is Mr. Zeppo who is explaining reality to those who has captivated, and they are struggling to comprehend what he is trying to tell them about their situation. Please combine cinematics and theatricality in this recursive scene that will serve as the climax for one of the books and will be echoed and referenced in various ways in many other books in the franchise. This must be epic.
And now for a slightly even longer reading that must be considered at the very core of all canon of the Zeppoverse. After we give that a listen, we shall pause and recap, and I'll consider giving it my own much more natural, easy to follow, probably easier on most people's ears and imagination, semi-dramatic reading myself. But first, I want to capture all of it as presented by our dear, imaginary, cybernetic, living animatronic robot announcer voice from an epoch too long ago past simply known as Frederick. We might add a number designation to him, but just Frederick, the co-host reader. Please proceed, buddy.
The beginning of the end. It all is already happening here in this moment of horror realization. Every single existing planet in the physical, knowable, explorable, traversable physically real universe of your reality has been utterly devoured, ripped up and consumed. Stripped down to its formerly molten metal core, left cold and frozen from the effects of unfettered strip mining by the existential armada of planet-eating space colonization meter ships that house the living brains of the descendants of the human race that left their dying home planet Earth to establish settlements on suitable inhabitable planets and propagate across the stars. These vessels were designed and manufactured by the few extant remaining members of the withering human race, at the very end of the slow collapse of their toxic human civilization, using the final capabilities of their most technologically advanced technology, in the human Earth year of 2169. Intended as an emergency life raft for ensuring the long-term survival of the species at an intergalactic scale, the Armada was an extremely experimental means by which to escape the self-imposed global disaster that they themselves had created. The mission: to travel to habitable worlds for the purposes of reconstitution and colonization. Upon first embarking on the journey, every living member of the human species was medically dissected alive and assimilated into the working infrastructure of the ship and entombed in complex life support systems designed for preserving only the living brain and nervous system tissue, in what was essentially a brain-shaped jar. Each massive pyramid-shaped space vessel was comprised of sentient silicone-based living nanobot cellular synthetic micro-building block beings, each with their own individual self-awareness and personalities, while also being ship-wide hive-minded and connected to each other in a massive intra-ship neural network. These nano-beings operate, maintain, and sustain the inner working of these massive ships and the support systems, keeping the living human brains alive and immersed in a simulated reality with many nested tiers of time dilation realistic physics simulation systems. The multi-ship Armada-wide networked system actively projects both human and nanobot consciousnesses into the deepest and most time-dilated layers of the shared multi-ship virtual reality networked hyper-lucid simulation of nested simulations. Each ship was designed to be capable of sustaining an exponentially growing number of human inhabitants by expanding its own living infrastructure systems exponentially through the manufacturing of ever-increasing generations of nano-bot building block beings, utilizing the strip-mined material resources of uninhabited planetoids. Early in their journey, before reaching the first set of closest viable planets, an unforeseeable and catastrophic fatal errors failure in core control subsystems caused the self-replicating Armada to malfunction. Each ship in the massive and ever-growing Armada subsequently failed to transition from resource-gathering mode to settlement building and deployment protocols without activating any emergency diagnostics or fail-safe safety redundancy systems, and proceeded to consume all planets it encountered and replicate. The human species, trapped inside these malfunctioning behemoths, has not once in uncounted millennia, and fathomless generations, been set free of the brain-shaped jars and reconstituted into a full ambulatory body avatar of blood and bone to step forth onto a new undiscovered inhabitable planet to restart civilization. Every single existing planet in the physical, knowable, explorable, traversable, physically real universe of your reality has been utterly devoured. Neither the sentient computers nor the human brains living inside of them, cohabitating in the collectively generated, multi-tiered, hyper-time-dilated cyberspace simulated reality, nor a single soul aboard any of the ships, has any idea, not the faintest hint, that anything has gone wrong. The beginning of the end. It all is already happening here in this moment of horror realization.
We've read that before, and we shall have to read it again, but I now have it parsed out in good chat-friendly chunks, which is, of course, weird, but it also prompts me to make a complete revision of it. Okay, I'm adding a thing. We're doing a little bit of live creative development here, friends. So what you just heard is not new. It is a piece of canon, a chapter, a page, an image, a sequence from deep within the Zeppoverse that I've been tinkering with for a hot minute. So I'm going to leave this copy of it here. Hold on, let me label this at the top of this too. Copy. What are we calling this? We're going to give this a name, like a proper title. Core You can call it that. All right, now what I want to do is take a copy of this. Boop. Oh, you guys aren't. Come here. Let's take a moment. Thank you for listening to all that. We're gonna be bouncing back and forth and doing a little bit more of that for dual purposes. A, for anyone new following along to hear it read that way, and also to engage that elusive, erudite, Robotnik, living robot audience out there. Correct, friends. This book is for both the humans and the robots. Ha 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 ha. Welcome to the Zeppoverse. I'm your humble Robotnik host, an artificial living silica nightmare being from a book series you've never heard of that you don't quite understand because I'm literally writing it live on stream in front of your very eyes right now as we speak. Ha ha! Welcome! All right, we're getting weird and wacky with it, but please join us for a hot minute. Where are we taking it? Oh yes, down to the Infinity Desktop portal. Join me as we step through the Infinity Desktop portal of infinities to my desktop. This is the backside of Twitch. I love that solid green line at 4,422 kilobytes per second. It's beautiful. Please and forever stay right there. It's gorgeous. This is our dear friend and imaginary co-collaborator, ChatGPT Official. I believe. We're literally, I do believe, at the right place. I hope I'm not at the wrong place. That would be hilarious. Apparently, they restructured their website address. It used to include the company name OpenAI, but here we go. So, as previously discussed, friends, you may or may not approve of the use of AI, but I am myself a living artificial intelligent confluence, complex being of multiple artificial intelligences. Nanobot technology, cellular biology is very complicated. Ha ha ha. But also designed to look like almost identical to you ambulatory meat sacks of blood and bone, except for in the fantasy fictional literary world on the paper pages, of which we are not there yet because, we're still in the development phase. Welcome to the world-building development phase of a prolonged and complex experimental procedural entertainment self-commodification show in which I will, yada, 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 proverbially, is that the right word, DJ Zed? He's mad at me because we're not playing his music. But I want to capture all these segments of previously already authored by me texts. And also, warning, alert. The human person in me must be reminded. The performance artist in me must declare that we obviously will be engaging with an artificial intelligence platform. As right now, though, none of the video elements are, right? Curiously, I do want to, I guess, declare within this declaration that I've just sort of been informed vis-a-vis a series of updates that sort of finally made sense in my head, that Streamlabs desktop version 1.19.6 and moving forward will have its own beta phase of testing, experimental AI assistant of some kind. I am very unclear about what abilities or capacities it is supposed to have or not have. I do not think that it's going to be doing live AI animations or video rendering. I do not believe that. I don't think it's that sophisticated. And if it were, I do not think my humble iMac from just before the innovation and release of the new chipset that I should have waited for. If I just waited a year and struggle busted one more year without this machine, I would have had the newer one, but I didn't because I'm an idiot. I am a fool. I'm not an idiot. I'm a very, very smart buffoon. I am a fool in this cosmic wheelhouse of comedy, and I'm here to entertain you and commodify myself in doing so. So we'll be talking with ChatGPT in a hot minute. Somewhere in my prompt, I do indeed reference the architect from The Matrix and banner of self-protection. What I may or may not develop is meant to either be interpreted or understood as homage, reference, literary, academic reference, intellectual respect for all IP, and I'm trying to mash together a chaotic world of reference to a million things under the banner of hyper creative fan fiction. I'm sure at some point someone will be like, you can't use our characters in your crazy experimental nonsense thing. In which case, I will gladly and without complaint accept a polite and genteel cease and desist letter instead of any other action. Please and thank you. And abruptly and erratically rewrite whatever character was found to be egregious. But I hope that we can invoke, using the power of our collective imaginations, a place where in which the whole Streamlab access suspended. Oh, because I'm... Few details. Repeated violations of our community guidelines. What have I done this time? I'm living in mystery because this keeps happening. But is it because they don't like reading and writing? History. Fake engagement. Live visibility restricted. I didn't engage in fake engagement. Your live is not eligible for recommendations and restrictions because it primarily directs people off platform. Oh. It's not Helldivers 2. I was playing Helldivers. No, I don't think so. Can I click more than one? If it's because I occasionally reference, I guess I'm not allowed to reference redacted name of platforms here, but I'm also live streaming simultaneously because of a deal they have with Streamlabs. I wonder what and it's also funny because I wonder what from 10/22 is this for today? No, it's from 12:40 a.m. to 4:19 a.m. Restriction ended. I see people referencing all kinds of stuff all the time. I'm not trying to drive people off platform. I'm trying to appease and entertain people on multiple platforms. Please and thank you. Clip that, Eclipse, and we'll maybe tag my live has been ended. Oh, it's because I invite people. It's because I welcome people to the Zeppoverse, and I do reference my link collection page. And I do talk about the other platforms. But I'm not trying to promote cross-platform migration at all, which is silly and odd and bizarre. I don't know if we're still live streaming or not. Here it feels like we're still live. It says reconnecting. And if it's because I'm displaying, is it because I'm displaying the other platform? I'm only doing that because I'm trying to make video of me interacting with it as my content, as we have a conversation with it to develop my original ideas for my book series. Is that not allowed? I thought that was allowed. I don't know how. I'm unclear, but I will try to comply. I was totally just talking about trying to comply. I would love to write fan fiction, write a book series of many book series in which sometimes our characters find themselves interacting with other characters from other book series or movies or legend or lore, and I just want it to be the full pantheon of pop culture, right? So I will always sort of do homage, referencey things like that, as I just am doing in this current prompt that we're developing. Okay, so we're trying to reconnect. I think I'm going to pause here, folks, because of the whatever happened to Twitch, or TikTok rather, it's not happy, and now Streamlabs is trying to reconnect, but I don't think that likes it. It likes it or not? Live details, Helldivers, started on 10/21/25 at 9:16 p.m. Apparently we got some sort of strike from some stream from forever ago. And maybe I was promoting. I thought we were allowed to promote other things. I see people promoting other things all the time on TikTok. But I don't know. The other platform, which I'm this maybe firms it up. I think I will commit to streaming exclusively to the Purple platform and using and finding other ways to go live on TikTok, but doing it exclusively from my phone instead of trying to do this Streamlabs co-stream, even though it looks pretty dope. I don't know. There may be a way for me to stream exclusively to that platform from Streamlabs without launching the other one. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what got us the thing. And it's funny because we only just got back from a 7-day breakup. But maybe I'll just go exclusive, and then you'll just see me as I'll see you there live on my phone somehow, in ways that are less controversial to the algorithm. But since it isn't even from this episode, I have, for the record, as you guys have seen over here, we're gonna make this loop, and we're gonna make these couple of movie loops. Dear redacted name of platform. While I am always aiming and striving to conform to and be the best, politest kind of content, I'm just trying to write my book series, and that involves a chorus of many other platforms that I will, in conversation, reference. I'm not trying to drive any viewers off platform. I'm just talking about them. The way if I were to reference a place like Canada or Australia, it wouldn't mean I would be necessarily implyingly or implicitly trying to drive people to go there. I would just be conversationally making reference to it. I apologize for any content that may have approached the line, but I also humbly will be, if I haven't already, appealing this one for whatever it was, because I thought we were allowed to share about our social medias and stuff. I will also would love to get some clarity as to what it is specifically. Am I not supposed to welcome people to the Zeppoverse and invite them to give themselves a self-guided tour of the various platforms and content creation projects of many projects, of which I thought I would bring all here to be shared visually as a live stream? For example, the way we'll be writing pages, which will eventually be published on the redacted name of platform, where books are shared for readers to discover. Because if that's what's going on, then yeah, I think we'll... Ironically, I don't think that's an issue for Magic Movie Loops as shared on the same platform. Thus, my confusion and or concern about this little notification I just got. But hopefully, fingers crossed, the appeal will land. It's been a 60-40 in my favor of appealing whenever I get a thing and being like, oh, it apologizes to me and rescinds whatever thing. But also, apparently, it's making, this current status is making Streamlabs struggle bus. So we're going to reset the world and pause. I might also grab my refuel a moment. But we'll be back with more reading and writing, chat and interview style talk show, which I think it doesn't like the talk show style, weirdly enough. It wants me to play the video game and only play the video game and not talk to it very much. But we'll be back at you guys, dear viewers, over on the purple platform, redacted name. Stay tuned for more exploring of the literary development experimental process of the book series of many nested 3-part book series is collectively known as the Zeppoverse, as we shall return. Be back at you. We'll dive back in without preemptive preamble. We got the reading of the previously on. The next episode will focus on the new prompts. We'll fine-tune and revisit. We'll visit and fine-tune new prompts and actually get them ready to be plopped in, as you'll see here. So this is the part where we'll be interacting with the AI, and I'm actually going to do this in a specific order, and I want to share it out now as a sort of teaser highlight for, like, up next in this next episode. Stay tuned. Tune back in and join us when we do the crazy next thing. I was trying to get it to read audio file, but I realized because it was not an original recording of my own, but a download of my own podcast from the publishing platform, redacted name of platform, that I shared that format of content in, it was probably encoded in such a way that it was like not letting it transcribe it. So I've got a different file, which is a critically important file that I created here, which I've already shared as a live broadcast, and you can find as a highlighted episode, which will be dissecting and making into magic movie loops in a not too distant future. But to show you, we've got the audio ready to go. The author explains his Damascus moment audio rough draft core concept. We're going to be plopping that in here for ChatGPT to listen to, analyze, and transcribe. Unless it's delusional and fibbing at me about its ability. The one we're having problem with is this one, and that's because I downloaded that from Sprecher.com, and it even has like advertisements appended onto it seamlessly in the beginning and the end. So I need to find its original. I may have recorded that using Sprecher, so I may not have a clean audio only, and I need to update and revisit CapCut, name of application redacted, to see if it can actually process and re-export as raw, just straight audio in the different, less problematic format without the advertisement, without me having to pay for it. I don't know if it's gone, if it's all gone behind paywall or not. But welcome to the madness that is trying to make content for your entertainment. I've almost said a different word, but I mean entertainment. This is all performance art of me literally trying to write an action-adventure, sci-fi, saucy rom-com, AI-inspired, and about, espionage and world intrigue, but set in a complicated future dystopian made-up history of my own engineering, collectively referenced and known as the Zeppoverse. Apparently, TikTok isn't ready for this. So we're going to go Streamlabs and Twitch exclusive for a hot minute. But we're going to try to quadruple down on going live at other times on TikTok and creating TikTok original content exclusively for that audience. I'm living up to my New Year's resolution from 2 years ago finally, and or quote-unquote starting next year's New Year's resolution a little early. The New Year's resolution being making the much more traditional, like, here's a thing, my background, and I'm, going to talk about it. And also the sketch comedy, I'm going to play multiple characters and talk to each other, which I'm just all them. scenarios. So those are two different formats of content that it's going to be all new, all fresh, and ready for you to enjoy and consume, coming at you here on this and hopefully all the other platforms once we get the pipeline going. Stand by for more. I'll be back in just a bit. This episode is going to abruptly end. Wait, DJs, play a little music for the people on the way out, please, and thank you. But return to us for more in the coming minutes, hours, days, and weeks as we engage with both video game play action for the purposes of just self-commodifying the sheer passion, pleasure, guilty pleasure enjoyment of video gaming as a valid hobby and live streaming genre, but also for the research of our fan fiction is going to drag our characters across a multiverse of all of these games and bring us to a world where they all kind of converge and are reimagined and re-engineered in the future, in a dystopian future of my own original stylings, collectively referred to as the Zeppoverse. Stand by for more of that as we define some core principles of it, the Zeppoverse itself, and the sheer horror of some of the backstory reveals of what is or is not the real life history of the main character. And the causal events that led to him being where he is and or who he is at a meta-cosmological, meta-narrative way, which you will want to be privy to as we begin rebooting and revamping the entire universe of the book series world as a live stream event that happens almost daily. We'll see you soon. Go be good human beings to each other. Of course, DJ Zed was muted. There's his music that you should have been enjoying this entire time. Go be good human beings to each other out there in the real world as well as in the game lobbies. We shall return promptly, as well as end this video abruptly. Thank you for everything.